Texas Tech dismantles Utah and poor Arkansas. Let's talk about that and the rest of this Saturday morning action. This game started as a close defensive slugfest, and Texas Tech, to their credit, after Baron Morton goes down, Will Hammond comes in and just has a great day out there. His receivers making plays left and right, and Texas Tech ends up pulling away from it at the end. For Utah, a lot of concerning things with that offense. It looks very similar to last year's offense. The play calling was questionable at times. 4 turnovers in that game. It's really going to cost you against a team like Texas Tech. The Red Raiders are legit. They're favored to go to the Big 12 title game this year. The hype is real for the Red Raiders. Arkansas genuinely makes me so depressed, and I'm not even remotely an Arkansas fan. They have a 28-10 lead. Everyone was telling them this is a trap game. They show up. Taylon Green looks great. The defense is making plays, and then all of a sudden everything just falls apart. A 64-yard touchdown run that ends up being the difference in this one. Memphis holds on for a 32-31 victory. Just cannot believe the Razorbacks found a way to choke this one, and with the slate they have ahead of them in conference play, I mean, good luck. Feels like Pittman is cooked. TCU exacts their revenge versus SMU in a fun rivalry game. Started out a little bit slow offensively, but at the end of the day, TCU just makes a few more big plays to just edge SMU in this one. For the Mustangs, defense not as good as it was last year. Obviously, we already knew that at this point, but the offense has been inconsistent as well. That's still been a factor, and so obviously not as good as the playoff team from last season. TCU off to a nice undefeated start, and in a world where Big 12 contenders seem to be dropping left and right, TCU seems to be rising as one of those favorites, one of those top dogs. But we might as well call this Hot Seat Saturday, because on top of Mike Gundy flopping and Sam Pittman flopping, we also had Luke Fickell flopping, a terrible 17-point home loss to Maryland. Everyone's talked about how brutal Wisconsin's schedule is. You can't lose to Maryland at home. This is one of the games they couldn't afford to lose. They were a double-digit favorite in this one. Got to give a ton of credit to Mike Locksley's Maryland team. They are still undefeated, and they could win a couple more in a row here. They look pretty good, and they've got some playmakers, and they're showing it. A very underrated team in the Big Ten right now. Something is seriously wrong at Clemson. We already knew that at this point, but Syracuse is up 13 right now. This one had a weather delay for a long time. They're now getting going again. Maybe that can rejuvenate Clemson, but right now things are looking pretty bleak. Even if they win this one, there are some serious concerns for the Tigers. Huge shout out to UNLV for gutting out a road victory. Miami had a ton of massive plays, including a pick six, a kick return touchdown, and yet UNLV managed to battle through it on the road and beat a really good Red Hawks team. So a huge shout out to UNLV for gutting out another nice win in the Dan Mullen era. And last but not least, huge shout out to North Texas. They're my boys. I shouldn't have faded them this week. They get out to a 21-0 lead on Army. Army tries to battle back. Still a quality team, but North Texas, they're still rolling, a dangerous team in the American. And they're a little bit more than a dark horse at this point. I think it's safe to call them a legitimate contender.